Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. We will be discussing some practice questions of general aptitude for the GATE 2024 examination. So we will be discussing questions of some topics of quantitative aptitude as well as taking up a few questions of logical reasoning as we have seen in the past GATE papers. As always, don't just watch the lecture, don't just watch the solution. When the question is on the screen, pause the video, give it a try, and after that, play the video and cross-check with the answer and the solution that we have discussed. So the first question for today's class is a question of quantitative aptitude on time, speed and distance. So pause, read the question, give it a try, and after that, play the video, cross-check with the solution that we discuss. So A and B are two railway stations 90 kilometers apart. A train leaves A at 9 am heading towards B at a speed of 40 kilometers per hour. Another train leaves B at 10:30 am heading towards A at a speed of 20 kilometers per hour. So at what time do the trains meet? So we have two trains from two stations moving towards each other. The first train, that is train A, is going to leave at 9 am and it is heading at B with the speed of 40 kilometers per hour. And the second train, that is B, is going to leave at 10:30 am and it's heading towards A with a speed of 20 kilometers per hour. Also, the total distance between A and B has been given, that is 90 kilometers. So what is the time when they are going to meet, right? Because there are two bodies moving towards each other, so eventually they are going to cross paths. So at what time are they going to meet? So very fundamental level question for time, speed and distance, and also something which is going to help you revise what is the most basic underlying concept of time, speed and distance, right? So how do we start? How do we approach this type of a question? So first and foremost, a pictorial depiction, of course. We have got A and we have got B. Let it be the name of the trains as well. So train A is starting from A moving towards B. Train B is starting from B and moving towards A. So this is train A which is moving towards B and this is train B moving towards A. Now what is the most important factor here that we need to see? We need to understand that A starts at 9 am whereas B starts at 10:30 am, right? So 1.5 hours late. So in this 1.5 hours that B has not started yet, but A would have covered some distance. So first and foremost, I need to find out what is that distance A has covered in the 1.5 hours that it has traveled ahead. So first we need to find how much distance A has covered from 9 am to 10:30, that is 1.5 hours, right? We know the speed of A. Speed of A is given to us as 40 kilometers per hour. So very simple, in 1.5 hours it would have covered 60 kilometers, right? Also, I know that the total distance between A and B has been given as 90, right? So this total distance is 90 and A has already covered this 60 kilometers from your 9 am to 10:30 am. So at 10:30 am, A is at this point, which is 60 kilometers that it has already covered, right? So now the question is very simple. We have got two bodies moving towards each other. I know that this remaining distance is nothing but 30 kilometers because entire distance is 90, 60 kilometers A has already covered. So the remaining distance is 30 kilometers per hour. I also have the speed of both the trains, right? So two trains moving towards each other or two bodies moving towards each other, the speeds have been given to me, so I can find out the relative speed. And now all I need to do is find out the time at which they are going to meet, right? So very simple concept. Using relative speed, I know the relative speed of two bodies moving towards each other. We'll add up the speeds, we'll get 60 kilometers per hour. And the distance that we have to cover is 30. So what is going to be the time? The time is simply going to be 30 upon 60. That is half an hour. So after half an hour, they are going to meet. But the important point is half an hour from when? Right? Half an hour from when? So remember, we have considered only this part because this 60 kilometers A has traveled alone, whereas B has not traveled or covered any distance, right? So half an hour from 10:30 am. Half an hour from 10:30 am, right? So half an hour from 10:30 am, that means that they are going to be meeting at 11 am. Is it clear? So the answer for this question is 11 am. So very simple, very fundamental type of a question of time, speed and distance, but you do see questions of this kind asked in examinations. All competitive exams, you will get question from time, speed and distance. That is a given. Moving on to the next question. Next question is going to be from yet another important topic of quantitative aptitude, that is time and work, right? So read the question, give it a good try, and after that you can cross-check with the solution that we discussed. So pause the video, give it a try. So Ramesh and Ganesh can together complete a work in 16 days. After 7 days of working together, Ramesh got sick and his efficiency fell by 30%. As a result, they completed the work in 17 days instead of 16 days. If Ganesh had worked alone after Ramesh got sick, in how many days would he have completed the remaining work? That is 12, 11, 13.5 and 14.5. Okay, so read the question carefully, try to understand what has been asked. So we've got two people, Ramesh and Ganesh, and together they can complete a work in 16 days. That's the first information given to us. Then after 7 days of working together, so 7 days Ramesh and Ganesh have worked together. What happens after 7 days? Ramesh falls sick and his efficiency falls by 30%. His efficiency falls by 30%, right? So if they are both in good health, they would have completed the work in 16 days. But what happens instead? 7 days they work together and then Ramesh falls sick, but Ramesh continues working with less efficiency. So 30% less efficiency. And because of that, they complete the work in 17 days instead of 16 days. So initially they were supposed to complete in 16 days, but now they are going to take 17 days to finish the work. So if Ganesh had worked alone after Ramesh got sick, so what if Ramesh did not continue with the work? What if Ramesh stopped his work after falling sick? Then in how many days Ganesh would have completed the work? So that's the question. Little bit of more information has been given, so we need to understand step by step what has been given, what we need to find out, and so on, right? So first and foremost, let the total work that needs to be done be T, right? So we'll assume the total work. Now there is one more thing which you can do here instead of taking a variable T. What is that? We have learned this in our video lectures. What is that? You can take the LCM of the number of days. But in this particular question, the LCM is not going to make a lot of difference. So that is why we can also work with the variable T or variable X, whatever you want to take. But the other approach would be to take it as an LCM of the number of days which have been given to us, right? So now, if it LCM of 16 and 17, that is something that you can work with. So let the total work given be T. Also let R be the amount of work that is done by Ramesh in one day and G be the amount of work that is done by Ganesh in one day, right? So R is the work done by Ramesh in one day and work done by Ganesh in one day be G. So be very careful about what is this R and what is this G. Okay, it is not the total number of days or it is not the total amount of work done or nothing like that. It is the work which is done in one day by Ramesh. R, work done in one day by Ganesh is G, right? So this is important. So initial plan is that both Ramesh and Ganesh are going to finish the work in 16 days. That is what initially we have planned, right? That's what the question says, that Ramesh and Ganesh can together complete a work in 16 days. So if all goes well, both of them are in good health, then they will complete the work in 16 days. That means for 16 days Ramesh works, 16 days Ganesh works, right? So what is the total work? If in one day work is R, so 16 days work is going to be 16 R. Similarly, one day work of Ganesh is G. So 16 days work is 16G, and that 16R plus 16G is nothing but my total work T that I have taken. So this is the first equation that we can arrive at. Is this much clear? So 1 day's work of Ramesh is R. He is working for 16 days. So how much work is he doing? 16R. Same for Ganesh. Ganesh also 1 day's work is G. So 16 days work is 16G. Both of them are working together. So we can take the addition of both their work done in 16 days, 16R plus 16G, and I have taken the total work to be T, so that's what this T is going to be. This is the first equation. Now let us see what actually happens. What happened, right? So what happened is Ramesh fell sick after 7 days, right? However, Ramesh got sick and his efficiency fell by 30% after 7 days. So if Ramesh is doing, in one day we saw Ramesh is doing work R, right? R is 1 day's work of Ramesh, that's what we saw. 1 day's work of Ramesh is R. So if his efficiency falls by 30%, then the amount of work he is going to do in 1 day is going to reduce. Amount of work he is going to do in 1 day is going to reduce. How much? It will become 0.7 R. It will become 0.7 R. So reduction of 30%. So it has become 70% of what it originally was. So if it was R, it has now become 0.7 R. Is this clear till now? So work done by Ramesh in 1 day after he falls sick and his efficiency reduced by 30% is going to be 0.7 R. And now in this scenario, they are going to complete the entire work, that is T, in how many days? in 17 days. That is what is given to me in the question, that as a result they complete the work in 17 days instead of the 16 days they were going to take. Is it clear or not? So what is the work done in the span of 17 days? Because we know that they both took 17 days. So total work is, see, how many days did Ganesh work? Ganesh is working, it is with his constant efficiency, that is per day he is doing G units of work. Total he worked for 17 days, so 17 G. What about Ramesh? For 7 days he worked with efficiency 100%. That means for 7 days, every day he was doing R units of work, so 7 R. And then the remaining 10 days after he fell sick, his work done per day is 0.7 R. So it is 10 into 0.7 R. And if I add everything up, that is going to give me the total work, that is T. Because this work does get completed, right? That's what you have to understand from the question. They are saying that instead of 16 days, they took 17 days. But the work remains same. The work was completed by Ramesh and Ganesh. There is no change in the total work done, because they were able to complete the work that was assigned to them. They just took more number of days, right? So total they have taken 17 days. This 17 days Ganesh has done G units of work every day. So 17 G is the work done by Ganesh. What about Ramesh? Initially 7 days per day R units of work, so 7 R, and the remaining 10 days 0.7 R units of work. So if we simplify, we will be getting one more equation. We have got 17 G plus 14 R is equal to T. And now we have got 16 R plus 16 G also equal to T, and 17 G plus 14 R also equal to T. So we can equate both these equations and we will get a relation between G and R. That is, we get G is equal to 2R. So once I have a relation between G and R, I can express the total work in terms of R or in terms of G, right? So here the total work is 16R plus 16G, as we saw from the previous equation. So if I just take G as 2R, then I will be getting I can express T as 48R. I can express T as 48R. Now both of them have worked for 7 days, right? Both of them have worked for 7 days before Ramesh fell sick. So in this 7 days, what is the work done? Work done is 7R plus G, because for this 7 days, Ramesh did R units of work per day, Ganesh did G units of work per day. Again, here if I replace G as 2R, I will be getting 21R. So in 7 days, 21R units of work is done, whereas the total work to be done is 48R. So what is the remaining amount of work? Remaining amount of work is 48 minus 21R, that is 27R. This is the remaining amount of work, right? So total work we are defining as 48R. In 7 days, both Ramesh and Ganesh have worked with their 100% efficiency. Ramesh has not yet fallen sick. So the work that is done in 7 days is 21R. So now what is the remaining work? Remaining work is 27R. Now what is the question asking us? All of this calculation that we have done. The question is asking how many days entire work gets done if Ganesh works alone after Ramesh falls sick, right? So this is the hypothetical situation, that what if Ganesh worked alone? Then in how many days it would have got over? In how many days the total work would have gotten over? So we just saw that the remaining amount of work is 27R, because 7 days both Ramesh and Ganesh have worked. Remaining amount of work is 27R, right? And work done in 1 day by Ganesh is G, which is nothing but 2R. So can we not find out how many number of days he would have completed the work? So 27R is the work remaining. Per day he is going to do 2R units of work, and so the number of days is going to be 13.5 days. The remaining work he is going to complete in 13.5 days. Is it clear? So remaining he is going to complete in 13.5 days. So what is the question? The question is saying if Ganesh had worked alone, in how many days would he have completed the remaining work? So we want to find out remaining work, how many days he would have taken. He would have taken 13.5 days. If they say total work would have been done in how many days, then of course you would have had to add a 7 to it, because 7 days initially Ramesh, Ganesh both worked, and then Ganesh completed the remaining work in 13.5 days. So this question seems a little lengthy because we have been given 3 different cases. So what was initially planned and what actually happened, and then a hypothetical situation that we want to find out. But the underlying principle or the underlying concept of this question is very simple, and that is itself the fundamental of time and work, right? So time and work is an easy scoring topic. of quantitative aptitude. Make sure that if you get a question of time and work, you should definitely get it right. Okay, moving on to the last question in today's video. It is a question of mixtures. Okay, so pause the video, give the question a good read, a good try, and then you can play and cross check with the solution. So Anil mixes cocoa with sugar in the ratio 3:2 to prepare mixture A, and coffee with sugar in the ratio 7:3 to prepare mixture B. He combines mixtures A and B in the ratio 2:3 to make a new mixture C. If he mixes C with an equal amount of milk to make a drink, then the percentage of sugar in this drink will be what? 21, 17, 16 or 24. Okay, so this is a little different than the standard mixture question because we have got like 2-3 steps of mixing. So let's see what exactly is Anil doing. So he has got two mixtures. One is a mixture of cocoa and sugar in the ratio 3:2, that is mixture A. And then he has another mixture B where you have coffee and sugar in the ratio 7:3. And then he mixes this A and B in the ratio 2:3 to make a third mixture, that is C. And then again this C is mixed with pure milk in order to make a drink. So what is the percentage of sugar in this final mixture? That's the question, right? So first and foremost, we have to find out the percentage of sugar. So that's what we're going to work with. We're going to work with the amount of sugar, right? We'll work with the amount of sugar. So as we have to ultimately find the amount of sugar, we're going to consider amount of sugar for each step, right? So in mixture A, what is the amount of sugar? In mixture A, what is mixture A? Mixture A is cocoa with sugar in the ratio 3:2. So cocoa is 3 parts, cocoa is 3 parts, sugar is 2 parts. So what is the amount of sugar? 2/5, right? Amount of sugar in the total mixture is 2/5. Similarly for mixture B is coffee and sugar in the ratio 7:3. So what is the amount of sugar here? It is 3/10. It's 3/10, right? And then A and B are mixed in the ratio of 2:3 to give me a mixture C. So we can use alligation concept here. So we have 2/5. Suppose X is the amount of sugar in the mixture C that we get in the mixture C. So I have 2/5 and 3/10. And if we just use alligation, then we can find out this value of X, and X will find as 17/50. Using alligation, you can solve that, right? 2/5 X and this is 3/10. So 2/5 I'm writing as 4/10 to make the calculations easier. So 4/10 minus X and X minus 3/10. And this ratio has been given as 2:3 because A and B have been mixed in the ratio 2:3. Is it clear? So if you simplify it, you will get the value of X. X is 17/50. What is this X? X is the amount of sugar in mixture C. Does the question stop there? No. What does Anil further do? He further mixes the C with an equal amount of milk in order to make a drink. So further he is going to mix this with an equal amount of milk and then make a drink. So what is the percentage there? So we can see that the amount of sugar in C is 17/50 and then the C is mixed with milk, right? So now pure milk is not going to have any sugar. Pure milk means it's just milk, right? So amount of sugar there is going to be 0. And then suppose Y is the final amount of sugar that we are looking for. So again, you can use alligation and this will be, let's say, 17/50 minus Y. And this is, let's say, Y minus 0, right? And what is this ratio? This ratio is nothing but 1:1 because we know that C has been mixed with an equal amount of milk. Equal amount of milk means this is 1:1, right? So what does this mean? This just means that Y is going to be equal to 17/50 minus 5. So this is your 2Y is equal to 17/50 or Y is going to be 17/100. Now what is the question? Question is sugar percentage. So if it's 17/100 means the percentage of sugar is going to be 17%. And the required answer is option number B. Is it clear? So basically we have to work with the amount of sugar at each step because that's what we want to ultimately find out. So we are doing 2 steps of mixing, but the ratios have been given to us. So it makes the entire question very easy, very simple. Just make sure 2 things, that because we have to eventually find out the percentage of sugar. So at each step we are considering amount of sugar, and also that remember that the ratio of, let's say, cocoa and sugar has been given as 3:2. So amount of sugar is not 2/3. Right? Amount of sugar is 2/5. 2/2 plus 3. Similarly, if I want to find out the amount of cocoa here, it is going to be 3 upon 2 plus 3. That is 3 by 5. Same for coffee and sugar. If I want to talk about how much sugar is there, it is 3 divided by 7 plus 3. That is 3 by 10. Or how much coffee? 7 divided by 3 plus 7 or 7 by 10. Clear? So this is the practice question for today's video. It's a question on time, speed and distance. It is very similar to the question that we practiced in today's lesson. Just one extra step has to be done, and that's a very easy fundamental step, so that should not be a problem. The answer and solution of this question will be given in the first comment of this video. I hope you found this video helpful. We will be discussing in totality 15 questions, so make sure that you look out for the next video. Thank you so much for watching. All the very best.